Good evening, everyone, and welcome into your Strategic Business Leader class. I hope you all are doing well. This is Matlub Ilahi, your SBL course leader. I will be leading this course from start till end towards this success journey. So my little bit introduction, first of all, I would like to introduce myself, then you can introduce yourself. Beside teaching SBL and Advanced Performance Management papers of ACCA, I am working as a sustainability consultant and ESG consultant, helping organizations to measure, control, and report their emissions and their carbon footprints and their environmental footprints. So teaching is my passion. As you will feel it, it flows in my blood. So I am maintaining both in parallel, and both are my passion. I have been teaching in Mauritius, you might have heard about, between 2013 and 2019, and then I moved abroad. So you might have heard about me from your friends or your colleagues. Okay, so this is a little bit introduction of mine. I would like you guys to introduce yourself, like which papers you are taking, and is it first time you are taking SBL or you already have attempted this paper? Please. Dia, you can share. You can hear me clearly, guys? Can you hear my voice clearly?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, it's clear on my side. Hi, I'm Divya. It's the first time I'm taking the SBL tuition. In the past, I was taking the tuition at LCA. I have a degree from Curtin University, so I have ACCA level 1 and 2. So now I have decided to complete the level 3. So it will be my first paper, my first exam in September.
All right. Okay. Good. All right. So what type of, what you have heard about this paper?
Oh, I've heard it's theoretical mainly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and well, not that easy. That's what my friends and colleagues from the post were telling me, and so I've decided to take this one first, and maybe I will see if I can take the other paper as well. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Okay. So, okay, you have heard the stories that this is like a difficult paper.
Yeah, a difficult paper, yeah.
Not difficult, but we can say that this is a lengthy paper. The syllabus is quite long.
Okay.
All right. There,
I was 2 years ago, I mean, before lockdown and all, I had the tuition from LCA for SBL, but unfortunately, some personal issue. That's why I haven't been able to take the exam. So I went through half of the tuition, and then now, well, I wanted to try this. To try this one, and maybe on Thursday I'll see for SBL as well, because you know I'm not working right now, so I have time for.
Okay, all right. But do you know that this paper is a complete different type of experience, and this paper will require you developing a very specific skill to pass this paper. You know about that?
No.
Yes, this passing this paper is a skill, and that's very interesting and very comprehensive skill. That skill not only will help you to pass this paper, but that skill will definitely help you to go up the ladder in your career as well. When you will go into your work environment, that skill will definitely be helping you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dia, for introducing and sharing all the words. Hello, Anas. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi. Would you like to share your thoughts about this paper, and please introduce yourself?
So I am Anas, and this is not my first time that I have taken the Strategic Business Leader tuition. Actually, I have previously taken this tuition last year at LCA, but so far I have not sat for any exam because I was not passing the other papers. So now I think it's time to see the Strategic Business Leader paper because that's my last paper remaining for me to finish my ACCA.
Oh,
So
this is
that's why I opting for Hamzah Academy.
oh, this is the last paper.
Yes.
Okay, okay, all right. So definitely we will be working towards helping you to
Yes.
not only pass this paper, but also to succeed in qualify for ACCA as well.
Okay.
All right. Okay, and you guys have a little bit heard about me?
No. So far I did not heard anything about you.
Okay, all right. I have been in teaching in Mauritius between 2013 and 2019, but then still there are like, I would say thousands of my students are there who has qualified and who have got the like positions as well. Okay, so what are your thoughts about this paper? What have you heard? Means what do you think of this paper?
I heard that this paper is very different from the other papers. It's more theoretical. So the exam it's not the same. The question are not the same. So you have to think maybe outside the box in order to be able to answer the question.
Exactly. True. This paper is a different, requires a different skill set, okay? Different mindset. And this paper requires like a disciplined approach to pass. I would not say that this paper is difficult. I would say that this paper is very broad and very deep, okay? Requiring a very comprehensive level of knowledge. This does not mean that this paper is difficult. You will see this paper is very interesting, very interesting. And if you are working or you are planning to start working after this paper, this will definitely help you and will improve your confidence as well, because this paper is going to train you. I use word train. This paper is going to train you in a lot of ways about the actual working environment. Okay. Anyway, so this is the introductory manual, SBL introductory manual. You will have a copy of this. We will share it with you. This manual covers, it's a very comprehensive manual I have designed, and this is going to cover almost all of your questions about the SBL. Okay, so we are starting because this is the introductory class, and normally I discuss this introductory manual in introductory classes so that my students should be very clear about the SBL paper and SBL exam. Okay, so let's begin. Let's have a quick look at what we are going to cover in this session. First of all, we are going to discuss the business world in 2022, why Strategic Business Leader paper was introduced by the ACCA, what is Strategic Business Leader all about, detailed syllabus, how is the SBL syllabus examined, structure of SBL CBE paper, then road to the success, and how is the exam to be marked, general tips to earn professional skills marks, why students fail in SBL exam, and how will I add value. So these are the areas we are going to cover today. So let's begin. First of all, I would like to start with the very simple learning, okay, very simple understanding the business world in 2022. So I would ask you guys a simple question about what do you think, what are the biggest challenges which the business organizations are facing in 2022 today? Okay, my question is, what are the biggest challenges business organizations are facing today? This is very important for you as well as a part of SBL learning. Okay, you know that SBL paper not only requires you to know the syllabus, but also go out of the syllabus as well. Yes, my dear, you can note it down, you can write it down. SBL requires you go out of syllabus. Okay, so let's have some few minutes of discussion. Okay, what are the biggest challenges which the modern business organizations are facing? So first point, Anas has shared that this is the new technologies. This is the new technologies. New technologies are changing the business environment. Okay, let's talk about how the new technologies are changing the business environment. If we look at the current situation of the technology landscape, there are a lot of new techs are emerging, and these new technologies are totally transforming the way we do business, we operate the business, we think, we do anything within the business, within the like processes. These technologies are changing. Okay, you might have heard about the latest technologies, for example. Okay, latest technologies such as automation. You might have heard about big data. You might have heard about artificial intelligence. You might have heard about machine learning. You might have heard about cloud computing or cloud technologies. Okay, you might have heard about Internet of Things or industrial Internet of Things. Okay, so these are the latest technologies, and other smart technologies such as robotics. And then now these are the technologies which are transforming the operations in almost every industry, whether it is manufacturing or whether it is service organization. Okay, these technologies are changing the landscape, and above all, the leading force is the data. Okay, leading force is the data. That's why we are seeing the new business models. We are seeing new business models which were not in place. If we go back 10 or 15 years back, those business models were not in existence, but those business models are emerging. These are called platforms. Okay, so we see now, right now, the biggest platforms. For example, we see there is Amazon now. Okay, we see there is Netflix now. We see there is a Spotify now. Okay, we see there is a Script now. We see there is a like LinkedIn, for example. There is a Facebook. There's a TikTok. And similar, there are now hundreds, thousands. So we are living in now platform economy. You would be amazed. We are living now in platform economy, and platform economy also called virtual economy. Virtual economy. Very interesting. So this is a complete different world. Okay. For example, think of the Netflix. Netflix is based on subscription-based business model. So this is the new term you might have heard about. Subscription-based business models. Okay. Subscription-based business model. You just pay a subscription which vary from region to region. Okay, $10, $15, $12, or in some African countries now Netflix is launching its service with free, without any, because it want to introduce its services. So you can watch as many movies, as many TV shows, as many documentaries as you want, and you just have to pay subscription fee. Spotify has transformed the music industry. Spotify, you might have heard about that. Okay, you can listen to as many songs as you want, and you just have to pay a subscription. Scribd is a books platform. You can like read as many books, newspapers, magazines, and even now there are like platforms such as the skills platforms. This is not technology just in few industries. Technology is basically disrupting. Tech is disrupting almost every industry. I am using word disruption. Tech is disrupting almost every industry. Here I can share with you like learning industry, the education industry. Right now, just imagine you and me, we are in a virtual platform. We are using the Zoom platform for our learning. I am delivering this service and you are receiving this service online. We are sitting thousands of kilometers away. So this is the how, such as how education, knowledge, learning, and skill industries have transformed. Okay, even there are subscription-based business models now in skills development as well. You can go for Skillshare. Yes, have you heard about this? These skill platforms where you can just pay a monthly fee and you can learn as many skills as you want. You have heard about that? Hello? Have you heard about skills platforms? Education skills platforms, such as Coursera, such as EDX, such as Skillshare. Have you heard about these type of platforms? So imagine how these platforms are reshaping. You can develop your skill. There is no boundary of classroom now. Imagine what bottlenecks. Imagine these platforms, how these platforms have disrupted. Imagine how these platforms have disrupted or disrupting the traditional learning industry. There are so many ways. There is no limit of time. Wherever you are in the world, you can learn. There is no limit of like as many skills as you want. There is no limit of you must go to classroom. You can learn at any time. Okay, and this is this is a too cost effective. You just have to pay a minimum fee and you can learn a lot of skills. So the point of discussion here is that how these industries are like transforming, understand? And this is all about technology. Okay, so this was the first factor we have just discussed. Next, now let's talk about other factors. We need to minimum discuss 8 to 9 factors. So you should have a very enriched learning about all this. Okay, so please share with me the second biggest challenge which the modern organization. Yeah, okay. So far I have just discussed the technology. Now, how these technologies are giving tough time to the traditional players. This is another question. This is another question. It is interesting to it is interesting to see how traditional industries and companies are preparing, are transforming their processes, products to compete with new players, okay, which are based mostly on internet based. Okay, so this is another interesting point to note. For example, here you can discuss. If you look at the top 50 Fortune biggest companies, you would be amazed that there are new players have entered into the Fortune 50 companies. Okay, you can, after this class, you can Google it. Fortune 50 companies. Fortune 50. Fortune 50 means you can search in 2000, in 2010, and in 2022. You would be amazed. You would be amazed that how the list has changed. There are players who have got bigger and bigger in the last decade. For example, the Facebook, for example, Tesla, for example, Netflix, all these companies, and in even like other Chinese companies such as the Alibaba, such as the Amazon, such as the like Microsoft. If you look at the top 10 companies, most 8-9 companies are technology companies. Technology companies. These are the knowledge industries, knowledge creative industries. So the point of discussion here is how technology is impacting, changing, disrupting everything within the organizational life. So who will be the winners and who will be the losers? This is all how quick they are in responding to the change. Okay, how visionary they are, how quick they are in responding to the change. So this is point I am writing for you. So winners, losers in 2022 or in the modern era, in today world, will be those with vision, visionary leadership, and agile. You might have heard about agile, okay, responsive, and they are keep disrupting their own organizations, keep disrupting their business models, disrupting, reinventing. These are the kind of terms you might have not heard before. Reinventing their business models. Okay, so who will be the winners? Who will be the losers? With those with visionary leadership, agile, responsive, and keep reinventing their business models. They cannot rely on past success. Okay, cannot rely on past success. And this phenomena, this principle also goes for us as well. Being like individuals, if we want to be relevant, if we want to create value for the organization for which we are working, we also need to learn new skills. We also need to learn new knowledge. We also need to develop new capabilities and competencies. Okay, so that we can be relevant. Otherwise we may lose our skills, understand, and experience as well. Okay, so this was the point number one. Only I have just shared the technology. So this was point number one. Let's talk about point number two. What is in your mind? What is the other biggest challenge which the modern organizations are facing? Please share. Challenge two. Challenge number two. Revenue, sources of funding. Can you please a little bit elaborate, Divya? Revenue, sources of funding, what this means? Financial management problems. Okay, financial management problems, or we can use it like right now, the current issue. Okay, I can make it more specific, like inflation. The all across the globe, the prices are rising. Have you experienced this phenomenon in Mauritius as well? That the prices are rising all across the globe. Okay, so as a result, the like prices are going up. So the income levels are, or savings levels are falling for the individuals, and profitability is falling because the customers' purchasing power is deteriorating as a result of the like high inflation and the rise in prices. So this is affecting the businesses all across the globe as well. Their cost of production is rising, their cost of operation is rising. So ultimately, this is leading to the reduction in their profits. So that is the point. Okay. Number three, challenge number three. Challenge number three, for example, we see there are trade wars, or trade wars, for example, trade wars. We see that the trade war between between China and USA, how is it is affecting the like supply chains all across the globe. Okay, it is affecting. Okay, trade wars. Number four is the war between Russia and Ukraine. Do you think it is affecting or not? Do you think it is affecting the business all across the globe or not? How it is affecting? My question is, being you are now the SBL student, so can you please share how it is affecting the global supply chain? Any thoughts you can share, any point you can share? Yes, Anas, you are absolutely right that because a lot of the commodities, Russia produces a lot of commodities coming from the Russia, okay, and Ukraine as well. They are the major players in a lot of commodities. So the commodity prices are rising. Commodity prices rising, and then there is a scarcity. scarcity. Scarcity or shortages. Shortages of commodities. Okay, so this is affecting the whole global supply chain. Number five, we can say the overall global supply chain. You might have heard about the chip shortage. You might have heard about the chip shortage, and you might also have heard that how the prices of the automobiles have increased because of the shortage of the chips, and there is like disruption in the overall global like this supply chain as well, in the like gaming industry, in the toys, in automobiles, in electronics. Okay, so because of the chip shortage. Okay, so this is another problem which right now the business world is facing. Number six. Yes, share your thoughts. What is another force of disruption, or the other force which is affecting the business organizations today? That is the political instability. Political instability. Okay, we can see that in a lot of regions in the world right now, there is like protests, are going on, there are like boycotts are going on, there are other issues are going on. Okay, so at national level, when there is a problem at the national level, it affects other regions, okay, which are connected with that country. It affects. For example, you might have heard about the recent like boycotts or the recent problems which are going on in Europe, such as the France, for example, or in Africa or in Asia, for example. So these affect the overall business organizations. Number seven is about social. Social environment is also changing. Now the modern customers are becoming more aware because of the social media. Okay, they have the more information, but unfortunately there is a problem. There's not a problem of awareness, but there's a problem of disinformation. You have heard about this word, disinformation. Social media, disinformation. Okay, so because of the disinformation, because of the like these issues, okay, this is also causing the problems in like several countries, several regions across the globe. This disinformation and the like customers and the social awareness. Number eight about regulation. We see that how the regulations is changing across the globe. So this is frequent change in the law, in the taxation, in the regulatory requirements of the like different bodies, and this is requiring the companies to report more, to share more data. Okay, so share more data. So this is also causing issues, causing problems for the organization. And one more factor we can discuss, and this is the climate change. Climate change. Okay, how the climate change is causing the problems for the organizations. For example, we see that like in several parts of the world, there is a massive impact of the climate change in terms of rains, in terms of droughts. You might have heard about the East Africa, where there is a drought is going on. So East African countries such as Kenya, such as Tanzania, such as Rwanda, Ethiopia, they are being affected by the drought, and the millions and millions of people are starving over there. Okay, in some parts of the world, there is a massive rains and floods situation. So it is affecting the overall the kind of all the business organizations. being affected because of the climate change. And that is the reason that there are a lot of changes in terms of like emissions. For example, you might have heard that now organizations are required to report on their emissions. Okay, they are required to report on their GHG gas emissions. They are required to report on their waste. They are required to report on their water. They are required to report on their solid waste. They are required to report on their recycling. They are required to report on their inputs. Okay, so regulation is changing. And then the consumers are becoming more and more aware of the impact of the global supply chain, and consumers now demanding the companies and the big brands to be more socially responsible. Okay, they are demanding them to be more responsible, be more responsible. That's reason that like brands such as Zara, such as Adidas, such as Nike, and the brands like Starbucks. So all these brands, how are they committing to the net zero? You might have heard about, okay, net zero. They are committing to the circular economy. They are circular economy, and they are more going into the recycling, upcycling. They are more going into the less waste. They are more going into the renewable energy. Okay, so these are the changes right now. The world business is facing these changes. And one more we can discuss, for example, the competition. Number 10 point is competition, how the landscape of the competition is changing. For example, and here again, I would give the reference of the virtual companies. Okay, virtual companies and virtual platforms, how they are disrupting, how they are transforming, how they are giving tough time to the conventional, traditional players. Okay, for example, let's talk about in Mauritius, such as the hotel industry is very, very important. Hotel industry, resorts are very critical for the economy of the island. Okay, but we see that there are B&B platforms, Airbnb, for example. Okay, so these type of platforms, how they are giving the competition to the hotels. Have you heard about B&B? Have you heard? Hello, dear, have you heard about Airbnb? So this is a new era. Welcome to the new era of competition. I hope that you have got now a bigger picture of the modern economy. You have got, this is just a few points which I have shared with you. There are more bigger issues. There are other issues which business organizations are facing. Okay, for example, one of the critical issues which we have not discussed yet, and where SBL paper is focused, this is about the risk management. Okay, risk, the landscape, risk landscape has changed. The profile of risk profile has changed. For example, think of the COVID-19 situation, how it has affected the business organizations all across the globe. So there is a more focus on health, sanitation, health, safety. Okay, so these type of issues are now becoming the new normal. And yes, one more point we can discuss. This was number 11. Number 12, we can discuss the new phenomena, work from home culture, okay, or virtual office. Virtual office or work from home culture. So this is a new trend. This is a new era. This is affecting a lot of business organizations as well. So the point of discussion here is that we are living in a complete different business world where the business organizations are facing the different challenges. And here is the need of the change in the way professional studies are done. That's why SBL paper was introduced. So the interesting point is that SBL paper covers all these areas. Reason why professional exam need to be changed. Professional studies need to be transformed. Okay, so SBL paper reflects modern business and working environment. Okay, so SBL paper is the need of the time. I hope now, guys, tell me, you have got some idea about the global disruption and the need of the SBL paper. You have got some idea now? Hello? Have you got some idea now about the changes, the transformations going on in the business global world and how SBL paper reflect all this? So imagine now that how interesting this paper is. Imagine you are going to cover like almost all of these topics, all of these issues which we have just discussed in this paper you are going to cover. All right, so this paper is very exciting, very interesting, and I can tell you, you will definitely be enjoying this paper because of the topics which you are going to learn on this. Okay, so hopefully you have got a broader picture now. Next is why business leader. I have already shared with you that the role of the accountant, the job of the accountant also has changed now. This is not like 10-20 years back. The job of the accountant has changed. Okay, now the basic data entry kind of thing is not the job of the accountant. Job of the accountant is more at analytical point. Okay, job of the accountant is more analytical now. More analytical. My dear, learn my words. That job of the accountant is not from, it has moved. Job of accountant has moved away from data entry to analysis and interpretation. Interpretation. Accountants are now considered as consultants. Keep in mind, because you are studying this paper, so I want to make it clear for you. They are supposed to be working as consultants. And a SBL paper is a very beautiful example that will train you to behave, to act, to think like a consultant, okay, like advisor for the organization. Okay, my dear, the role of the accountant has changed, and this is because of the technology. We see that how the basic input jobs are being taken over by the softwares and the automation systems. Understand? And this was the exactly what was realized by the ACCA in 2016 report, okay, where Professional Accountant the Future, this report was published. This report was published, and this report, they realized that they need to transform the syllabus and prepare their future graduates for like more effective and more efficient. Okay, so this was one of the reasons that behind the development of the SBL. And more about the SBL is that it is a single case study. This is a single case. There are no 3, 4, 5 questions like as other papers. This is a single case, okay, where you will have different type of problems, different type of challenges, and different type of questions and different type of tasks you will be given in this paper, where you will be working on those tasks. There will be different type of problems, different type of challenges, okay. SBL paper include different, various, a variety of challenges, a variety of problems, challenges, requiring students to offer solution. Okay, you will be required to like structure the solution. You will be required to introduce models, theories, frameworks. So that's very exciting and very interesting, just like as real life, just like as business in real life. Okay, all right, next. Let's have a look at the SBL syllabus. There are total 9 sections, 8 study sections, and 1 is the skill section. Okay, so 9 sections. If you look at the 9 sections, section A is about leadership. Section B is about governance. Section C is about strategy. D is about risk. E is about technology and data analytics. F is about organizational controls and audit. G is about finance, and H is about innovation, performance excellence, and change management. Whereas section I is about skills. Section I is about skills. Understand? So these are the total 9 sections. Syllabus is 8, whereas 9th is about skills, which you will need to develop. And interesting thing is, if you look at the arrows, okay, these arrows show how different sections are linked with each other. And this is called integrated approach. This is called integrated approach to learn. Integrated mean because there will be a single case of 100 marks, which that you will be working on with variety of different tasks and questions required. So when you are studying this one, when you study SBL, think integrated. Integrated this means that all topics or sections are interconnected. All are interconnected with each other. For example, when we are studying leadership, this can be connected with strategy, with risk, with technology, with finance, with controls, with innovation. Understand? So every topic you need to learn in relation to other topics. For example, at leadership, when you will be learning about the role of the leadership, when you will be talking about the visionary leadership, Visionary. Who is visionary leader? A visionary leader is the one who looks into the future, who looks in, who has a forward thinking, who is like motivating, who is sharing, who is updating, who is creating awareness, who is motivating everyone within the organization for change. What change? So change means change in strategy. A leader's role is on the risk management as well, okay? To identify what is changing in the risk landscape of the organization. For example, we have discussed here the 10, 11, 12 points. We have discussed the 12 points here, okay? So here is the role of the leadership. Here is the role of the leadership. For instance, the 12 points are the 12 challenges. 12 challenges discussed above are linked with each other. Linked with each other, requiring leadership to play role. This is their responsibility. Leadership responsibility. Okay, so my dear, you will need to learn all the topics and the sections with interconnected view. All right, I hope you have got it clear. So section A is about leadership, where you will be learning about the different styles of the leadership, different types of the leadership. You will be learning here about the traits of the leadership. You will learn here about the entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship, and you will learn here about the culture of the organization. Culture, okay? So values of the organization, culture of the organization. And interesting thing is that this is the top management responsibility to develop culture of entrepreneurship, culture of, like we were talking about, agility, agile culture, agile, okay? Responsive culture, robust culture within the organization. Why? We are living in world of disruptive world. We are living in disruptive world where things are changing very fast. So if we are living in disruptive world, okay, so this demands agile leadership, agile visionary leaders. I hope you are clear. Section B is about governance. Here you will learn about the different governance theories, different governance models. You will learn here about the board of directors. You will learn here about the social responsibility. You will learn here about the stakeholders. You will learn here about the structure of the board, okay, executive and non-executive directors, and the board committees. You will learn here in the section B. Section C, you will learn about strategy of the organization. Strategy, okay, strategy. The types of different strategies for the organization. You will learn here. You will learn here about how to design strategy of the organization. Type and design. Type and how to design. You will learn here about how to analyze internal and external environment of the organization. You will learn here about how to evaluate the different options available for the organization. You will learn here all of. Section D is about risk management. Here you will learn different types of risk. You will learn here about how to identify, how to assess, how to evaluate, how to analyze, and how to manage different types of risk. You will learn here in section B. Section E, you will learn here about technology. You will learn here about the different types of technologies available to the organization. Interesting, okay? Different types of technologies. technologies which organization can use in its processes, in its operations. Okay, you will learn here about the data analyst or analysis, data analysis. Okay, you will learn here about the different types of the analysis, like the predictive analysis and prescriptive analysis. You will learn here about the e-business. Okay, what is e-business? You will learn here about the different technologies which an organization can use for its e-business. Okay, you will learn here about the like how to attract customers, how to retain customers, and customers management. You will learn here. You will learn here about cyber security. You will learn here about information system security. We know that we are getting more and more data. We know we are data is becoming the main source of competitive advantage for the organization. Data is becoming just like as the blood for the organization. So when data is becoming so important for organization success and survival, then it is also important to have like the security of that data. Okay, it is also important to protect that data from the hackers and from the other interventions. Okay, so you will learn all that here. Then section F is about organizational controls. You will learn here about like what are the effective control system within the organization. You will learn here about elements of control system within the organization. You will learn here about weaknesses in the control system of the organization. You will learn here about how to improve controls within the organization. You will learn here about the importance of audit, internal audit and external audit for the organization. Okay, section G, you will learn here about finance. Okay, finance and importance of finance for the strategy of the organization. We know that when an organization decide or design a strategy, it needs finance. Okay, for example, think of when launching a new product or when launching like a growth strategy, when an organization is planning to enter into new market, such as I gave you example from Mauritius, such as Lux Resorts, for example, Lux Resorts. Okay, when it decides or when it makes strategy for Lux Cafe. By the way, I'm asking you, how many Lux Cafes are there on the island now? How many Lux Cafes are there on the island? Can you please update me? Because when I was there, I think there were 5 or 6 Lux Cafes. I think more than 3, no? One at Kodam, one at Bagatelle, one at airport, one at Le Croisette. And where are others? Yes, Cascaville, exactly. One is there. Trianon. Oh yes, there is one at Trianon as well. And it might have opened other places as well. So imagine, yeah, we are talking about Lux Cafe strategy. When Lux Cafe decide to open its cafes out of the resorts, so don't you think it will need finance? That is called strategy. That is called growth strategy. So growth strategy requires finance. Okay, finance. So how to arrange that finance? How to arrange that finance? You will learn here about that. Section H is about innovation, performance excellence, and change management. Okay, here you will learn about how to achieve performance excellence. You will learn here about how to introduce change. You will learn here about different types of change. You will learn here about process change management, mean which process to change. You will learn here about how to analyze different processes. You will learn here about project management. Okay, so all these topics are interlinked with each other. And in the section I, there are skills, the 5 skill set which you will need to learn. My dear, this is like interlinked view, interconnected view of the syllabus. Again, I am using word integrated or interconnected or interlinked syllabus. SBL syllabus is interlinked syllabus. By the way, there is no significant change for as from September. Okay, there is a small minor change in the syllabus. Okay, I think you should be aware of that. There is a minor change. Minor changes to syllabus. Only they have removed the blockchain from the syllabus, and ICO, initial coin offerings, has been removed. So it's very small little change in the syllabus. Okay, so this is the syllabus view of the broad view of the topics of the syllabus. For example, section A, I already have discussed with you, but here you can discuss again, that in section A, you will be working on qualities of the leadership and organization culture. We already have discussed importance of culture of the organization. You will learn here about professional ethical codes and the public interest. In section B, it's about governance. So you will learn here about agency problem, about stakeholders analysis, about corporate social responsibility, about governance scope, approaches, reporting, and board of directors. In section C, you will learn here about strategy, different types of strategy, how to develop strategy. You will learn here about environmental issues. You will learn here about competitors and competitive analysis. You will learn here about internal and external analysis, including internal resource analysis. And then in the strategy section, you will learn here about strategic choices, mean how many options an organization has and which option to choose. Okay, how many options an organization has and which option to choose. Section D is about risk. You will learn here about what type of risk are there, how to identify, how to assess, how to measure different types of risk, and then how to manage, how to monitor different types of risk. Okay, so all this you will learn here. Then section E, you will learn about cloud and mobile technologies. Cloud and mobile technologies. You will learn about big data and data analytics. And you know that data analytics is becoming a key skill for everyone. I would also recommend you to learn this skill. Data analyst. Okay, learn this skill. You will learn here about e-business and value chain. Value chain is a model, okay, which divides the organization's activities into different types of values, different type of the groups, okay. And then you will learn about security and controls. Then section F is about like internal controls and audits. So you will learn here about different types of like internal controls. Different types of internal controls, how to evaluate the control system of the organization, how to make changes, how to improve, types of controls, how to make changes, improvements. You will learn here all these. You will learn about audit and compliance, importance of audit and information sharing. You will learn about the reporting as well, such as you will learn here about integrated report. Integrated report. Have you heard about IR, integrated report, my dear? Have you heard about it? Have you heard about integrated report? Hello? My dear, have you heard about integrated report? Good. So you already have some idea about that. Okay. Then section G, finance. Section G is about finance. So here you will be learning about the types of finance and need for finance, requirement for finance. Okay, and then section H, innovation, performance, excellence, and change management. So you will be learning here about the structuring of the organization, how to structure different types of structures to the organization. You will learn here about the disruptive technologies. You will learn here about talent management. You will learn here about performance excellence, managing change, innovation, and project management. And the 5 skills which you will need to learn, 5 skills which you need to learn are communication, commercial acumen, analysis, evaluation, and skepticism. These are the 5 skills that you will need to learn. Okay, it should be on your fingertips, because in the questions there are 20 marks. 20 marks for skills, 20 marks, 80 marks for syllabus, and 20 marks for skills. Communication, commercial acumen, analysis, evaluation, and skepticism. So these are the skills which you need to develop. Okay, I think we can go for a little break, and after break, we can start how is the SBL syllabus examined. Okay, so 5-6 minutes of break time is sufficient. So see you after the break time. After break, we will be starting how is the SBL syllabus examined. Welcome back. So we are starting now. How is the SBL syllabus examined? 4 hours exam with a single compulsory section. It uses an integrated case study model with a number of tasks and all requirements. Integrated case study with a number of tasks and requirements are to be related to one scenario. To ensure that tasks are realistic and that ACCA can examine the syllabus more widely, candidates may have to take on different leadership or management consultants roles in different contexts. Yes, my dear, because there will be plenty of tasks, multiple tasks. So your role will keep changing. Roles will keep changing. Sometimes you will be working as project manager. Sometimes you will be working as a management accountant. Sometimes you will be working as the project director. Sometimes you will be working as the executive. Sometimes you will be working as finance manager. So your role will keep changing. The skills that are assessed tend to be more practical and analytical rather than technical or academic, and could include, yes. So you may be required, for example, like data analysis of spreadsheets and their interpretation. You can be provided with a set of data, okay? A set of data is provided to you, and you are required to now analyze it, interpret it. Analyzing visual aids such as heat maps, flow charts, process maps. Yes, my dear, you can be provided with the different types of visual aids, okay? Visual aids, and you are required to analyze it. You can be provided with the problem identification and resolution. You can be required to making supported recommendations. You can be required to draft reports, memos, letters, articles, briefing notes, or another form of written business communications. Drawing up some presentation slides with accompanying notes. This is almost in every paper, almost every paper, where you are required to prepare few slides, okay, with accompanying notes. This is a part of almost every paper. And this is certainly not a complete list of tasks, but provides an idea of the range of disparate information, range of information of sources that might be provided in the examination paper, as well as the style and types of answers required. Okay, now let's have a look at the some past paper from March 2020. Okay, from March 2020. So you can have some idea about what type of tasks are tested. For example, task 1. TT4U's chief executive officer is concerned about the possibility that major contracts will not be won or renewed and would like your views on what the main tasks are for TT4U. So required briefing notes. What? Prepare briefing notes for the board which analyze the main risks which threaten TT4U being awarded new contracts and retaining current contracts. Now, this is the technical question. Technical question. Why technical question? Because you have to work on two things. You have to look at the risks to new contracts and risk to retaining current contracts. 8 marks. And you have to write for 8 marks. So when you will be working on your answer, you have to structure your answer for 8 marks. You have to plan your answer for 8 marks. For 8 marks. Okay. So be careful when reading task requirements, as there would be multiple requirements within a single task. There would be multiple requirements within a single task. Okay, just like as this one. There are two tasks, subtasks, of risk to new contracts and risk to current contracts. And now look at the professional skills marks are available for demonstrating analysis skills in establishing the risks relating to TT4U. How will you get these 2 marks? For establishing the risk. So if you are able to establish or determine those risks or identify those risks, you will be getting these 2 marks. Next now, another task. Prepare a section of your report. This is not complete report. This is a section of the report which evaluates the 2 strategic options proposed by the directors. Okay, to evaluate. Here verb is evaluate. So you should know the meaning of evaluate. Evaluate looks at suitability of something. Suitability of something. It looks at effectiveness of something, whether a strategy or a course of action selected is suitable or not. For example, if we have selected a direction, when we are required to evaluate, means we need to check whether that direction is suitable for us or not. So 12 marks for this part. 12. Why? Because you are going to evaluate 2 strategic options, and there is a formula for evaluation. You will learn when we will start syllabus. And professional skills marks are available for demonstrating evaluation skill. Which skill? Evaluation skill in using professional judgment to objectively appraise the 2 strategic options proposed by the directors. 4 marks for this. So my dear, this is how you are tested. You are tested in SBL paper. And let's have a look at the summary of the tasks from the past papers. So you can have an idea that there is no fixed pattern of SBL. There is no fixed pattern of SBL. There is no fixed pattern. It changes every time. And this is what reflects, it reflects the real world. Reflects the real world. Okay, because real world is not a standard. Okay, for example, if you look at September 18, in task 1, there is task 1A, briefing paper, task 1B, briefing paper, that's it. Then task B, in task B, there's only 1 requirement, memorandum. In task 3, there are 3 requirements. Confidential memo, summary, briefing paper. Task 4, 2 slides. 2 slides. Look at December 18 paper, December 18. Briefing notes, report, press release, briefing notes, report, 3 presentations. In short, there is no fixed pattern of SBL paper. So you need to prepare you accordingly. And this is where I always advise my students to be prepare that you are going to learn something amazing, something interesting. This is beyond the tradition. Okay. Let's talk about structure of the SBL CB paper. structure of SBL STB paper. There's no predictable structure. Case can be set around an organization operating in the public or private sector or profit-making or not-for-profit. The board structure of each case, the broad structure of each case will give candidates information about an organization from a variety of sources. My dear, this means that you can be given a variety of information in different sources. For example, you can be provided like as interviews with staff. Okay, you can provide with the staff interview. You can be provided survey results, briefing notes, board reports, press articles, website extract, organizational reports, IR, email, memos, spreadsheet, pictures, figures, tables, diagrams, presentation, organizational charts. Means there are so many options in which information can be provided. All right. Okay. And then nature of tasks. My dear, there would be 3 types of tasks. This is very important. You can take notes. In SBL, normally there would be 3 types of tasks. I rank these tasks into easy, then average easy, average difficulty, and then high difficulty. I categorize into 3. Easy task mean all information are available at one place. One place mean within one exhibit. Hello, my dear. Are you taking notes? Are you taking notes? Good. Perfect. There would be 3 types of task. You can categorize as easy, medium, and high difficulty. Easy task means where all information is available at one place within one exhibit. So you would not need to search elsewhere. Number 2, where average difficulty means where information for a task scattered in more than one exhibits. Means information would be available in 2 or 3 exhibits. And third type of task, you would say high difficulty or difficult. Not use word high difficulty, difficult. This is normally 1 or 2 in every 1 or 2 tasks in every paper. What is this difficult? Where little information is provided within the exhibits, little information in exhibit, and it will require your general business acumen, require your commercial acumen. Commercial acumen means broader. It will require broader set of knowledge. What is this? Like just for example, you are in a real business. How will you solve that? Your judgment. Your problem solving. Problem solving. Your wider business knowledge, business or industry knowledge. Okay, wider business or industry knowledge. For example, I can give you one example. For instance, a question on control weaknesses. A question on control weaknesses. And you are required to evaluate or analyze. You are required to analyze these weaknesses and make suitable improvement recommendations. Okay, now this type of information would not be given within the exhibits or within the question, but your overall knowledge, your overall understanding will be tested. So now tell me, are you clear about the type of tasks which SBL paper would require you? Are you clear, my dear? Very good. Perfect. Very good. Okay, now let's talk about the road to success. Fewer points to remember as from day one. There is no exact formula to pass SBL exam. To pass SBL requires you developing a particular skill. Pass SBL requires you developing particular skill. Develop that skill, you need to have right attitude and discipline approach, such as well-planned study schedule. Continuously broaden your knowledge of the paper and around. What is around? What is around? What do you think of this? What does this mean? Around. What does around mean? Broader understanding, broader real world. Yes, it is a knowledge of business and economy, like just like as we discussed in the beginning of our class today. Okay, next, though there are 4 hours to write the exam, but the time passes very fast. That is true. So the only way to get confidence is through learning technical knowledge and practice. So first of all, let's talk about time management. The total time available for your paper exam will be 4 hours. 4 hours mean minutes are 240 minutes. A good practice for SBL is that you should spend 40 minutes for reading the whole case. 40 minutes. 40 minutes. This is an ideal time. And this only possible with wider practice. Wider practice can help you to quickly glance through the information. Wider practice can help you quick glance through the information. If you will not have the right set of practice, then you may get stuck and you can take 60, 70 minutes in reading the case. This is reality. Because when we ask students, what was the Difficulty in paper, most of the time we receive same response. Time management, time management, time management, time management, time was short, this and that. Okay, 40 minutes reading time. If you need more time, take it, but reallocate the remaining time proportionately over 80 minutes or 80 marks, because you have to write for 80 marks. You don't have to write for 100 marks. Again, repeating, 20 marks are skills, and skills marks are given on the basis of how you structure your answer. Okay, 20 marks are given on the basis of how you structure your answer, not what you write. Means there is no separate writing for those 20 marks. So you have to split time for 80 marks. Then 20 minutes for planning and structuring. So 40 minutes are you can consume for reading. 20 minutes you can take for planning and structuring the answer. How you are going to plan. Plan mean how you are going to structure the answer. Structure mean what major important points you want to make. Planning is a big skill, a key skill in SBL. Although whole life planning is important for whole life, but just stick to the point for SBL. So you will have 180 minutes out of 240 because 60 minutes are consumed. So 180 minutes or 3 hours to write for 80 marks. So this is almost 2.25 minutes per mark, more than enough. 20 professional marks will be earned in the same way you construct and present your answer, not for writing additional. Be on top of your game from minute one. This is very important, and we always advise students to don't waste time. Don't waste time from minute one. Don't feel relaxed from minute one. No, on top of the game from minute one. Previously, there were 15 minutes for reading time. Now 45 minutes extra time, more time to plan. Next, reading the case study. Decide an order for reading. Now, how will you read the case study? Because there are 8, 9, 10 pages. Okay, there would be 8, 9, or 10 pages of case study you are going to read. So to effectively read the case study, first read through background information to understand the context. That will be on the page number 1 in computer-based exam. Then read the list of exhibits. Don't go through the detail, but just read the list of exhibits. There would be 7, 8, 9 exhibits. 6, 7, 8, 9. Then next, start reading and highlighting requirements. Reading and highlighting requirements. This will ensure that you have requirements in mind. The purpose of reading requirement is to keep in mind when you start reading information in exhibits, requirements are already in your mind. Having understood the requirements and what you need to do in each task, finally read the exhibits themselves so that you can identify and highlight the information that is relevant to each task. My dear, for time being, because this is your first class, you may not be understanding well, but when we will practice, then you will realize how important are these 4 points. You will realize how important are these 4 points. Or when preparing for exam, you will understand the importance when working on question, while exam preparation. Remember, when reading the requirements, how to read requirements. This will help to ensure you are answering the question that has been set and not wasting time including irrelevant information. So When you are reading the requirements, identify how many parts there are. I already told you. There would be multiple tasks within a single task. Identify what your role is in the task. You will exhibit, your tone in writing will reflect your role. Check what format of answer is required. You are writing a report or a memo or briefing notes or slides or press release or whatever. Think about your audience. Who is your audience? Your audience is board. Your audience is CEO, CFO, CMO, CIO, or executive director, or project leader, whatever. Identify the verbs and understand what is required of you. The verbs used in the tasks is important to understand. Then think about marks allocation and how many points you need to make in your answer to pass. Marks allocation, for example, if there are 8 marks, you need to make 4 points, 4 well-developed points are sufficient. For 8 marks, 4 well-developed, because for well-developed point mean 2 marks. Simple developing a point, 1 mark. But if you explain that point in a broader context, you will get 1 more mark. So 2 marks for well-developed point. Then check with professional skills is being assessed in the task or not. Which skill is being assessed? Okay, whether that is analysis or evaluation or communication or the commercial acumen, which one is tested? Then analyzing the requirements. Start the case with reading the requirement first. There's no specific guidance. You will choose a suitable particular model. Yeah, this is important, very important to know. Although you will study many models in the SBL. To learn several theories, models, frameworks in the SBL preparation. But keep in mind that exam questions will not state which model to use. Keep in mind, exam question will not mention which model to use, and this is point made here. There will be no specific guidance on as to particular which model to, which theory, which approach to you should use in answering your question. So you will choose a suitable particular model based on your knowledge of SBL syllabus or your previous knowledge from applied skills or exam. However, the text will offer several hints. Yes, this is the point. Text will offer several hints indicating the use of a particular model or framework. This is what you need to develop skill. You will need to develop skill to identify those hints, to convert those hints into a model. Okay, so the same question we have discussed from March 2020, here it can help you. Require. Prepare a section of your report which evaluates the 2 strategic options proposed by the directors. 12 marks. Professional skills marks available for demonstrating evaluation skills and using professional judgment to objectively appraise the 2 strategic options proposed by directors. How to approach it? How to approach now this question? Choose the suitable format, that is section of report. Determine target audience for your report. That is chief executive. Tone and content must be suited to strategic decision maker. Who is the strategic decision maker? The CEO. So tone and content must be suited to strategic decision maker and pitched at an appropriate level. Avoid use of unnecessary jargons, but at the same time, you must not approach it too simplistically. Avoid repeating points. Why? CEO does not have time to waste on irrelevant or repeated points. CEO time, CEO cost a company, every minute of CEO might be in thousands of dollars every minute. You would be amazed. Hundreds or thousands of dollars cost to the company of every minute of the CEO. This keep in mind. The task requirement include evaluates, which mean candidates have to carefully assess given options, proposals, or arguments in a balanced way, discuss their strengths and weaknesses, predict future outcomes and consequences, recommend and justify the most appropriate solution, which suits most to the corporate decision making using professional and ethical judgment. A task requirement may include word and. This indicates that there are two separate subtasks to complete. Second task of the requirement would be easy to forget if you do not take great care when reading the question. As total allocated technical marks are 12 in this question, we are discussing this question. 12 marks. As total allocated technical marks are 12 for evaluation of two options, it would be sensible to allocate 6 marks to each because you are evaluating 2 options. So 6 marks to each. It is a safe approach to allocate marks and time. Finally, this requirement attracts an additional 4 professional marks for demonstration of evaluation skill. Evaluation skill, you can see. These extra marks are not awarded for additional content, but on how you approach the question and present your answer. Competently assess, estimate, and appraise the information provided will allow you to produce the answer that demonstrate the evaluation skill expected from professional accountant. This will have you focus. Planning, very important skill. Remember 5 P's. Proper planning prevents poor performance. How will you approach the answer? There is always the temptation to start answering the question as soon as you can. Without planning a suitable structure, you are likely to deviate from the point and start to waffle. You should not start writing until you have planned. What you will say and in which order you will say it. Wow, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What order you will use, what you will say, and how will you structure it. Big learning, my dear. Choose a planning method that suits you best. It may involve making notes or an answer plan on your answer booklet. Now there's no booklet, so there will be scratch pad. Do you know about scratch pad in the CB exam? Hello, my dear. Scratch pad. You aware of that? Where you can take notes. Yes, scratch pad. So you can take notes. Divya, you don't know about scratch pad, my dear? Have you seen the exam screen or how exam look like? Computer-based exam. Have you seen any computer-based exam of ACCA? Good. Very good. Thank you. Good. Plan must reflect a question requirement. This is the point. Write some headings that will structure to your answer. Headings. The blank bullet points should then be filled with the finding you have drawn from the analysis using suitable supporting information. How to plan and structure an answer. How to plan and structure. Here is a format for you to learn, plan. How to plan. How to plan. Here is some framework for you to plan, because now you are writing a part of report, so you don't need formal report format. Formal report format is not needed here. Why? Because you are going to write a section of report. Section of report. What? Section of report. So you don't need complete report format. So to, from, subject, not needed. Not needed. If you were required to write a report, then this was needed. To, from, subject, date. So start your answer directly with introduction. Now you are going to evaluate two options. So each option you will evaluate separately. Evaluation of option 1. You will give heading. This one. Now, which model you are going to apply? Think which model you are going to apply, or you need to apply. So there is a model called SAF, my dear. What? SAF. SAF criteria or SAF model we use when it comes to evaluation of strategic options. Okay, we use SAF. S stand for suitability, A stand for acceptability, F stand for feasibility. So we apply this criteria. So you will apply it here. Bullet points you have written, leave it blank. Your plan is then for evaluation of option 2, same. So this is called plan. This is called plan. And at the end, conclusion. You will conclude which option to choose. This is called how to plan. Okay, this is what you need to follow in your answers. Next. Answering the question, guideline to follow. Make use of headings, subheadings, allowing the target audience to easily navigate their way through your answer. This suggests a professional and organized approach to dealing with the complex array of business problems. Avoid making any irrelevant points or repeating the question. Avoid using assertive, aggressive words. What is assertive or aggressive words mean? Must do, should do. These type of words are considered as aggressive. Must do. We cannot make someone compulsory doing that. Okay, we cannot enforce our option on someone. So avoid using word must. You can use more soft words like would be more appropriate, would be appropriate. Exam is not a volume exercise, but assesses the quality of answer produced. So don't think that you must have to write or you have to completely fill the whole answer book. No, that is not needed. And now these days it is in like soft form. So next, ability to write concise but accurate. Next, follow a suitable format. Next, sentences should be short and to the point. Next, write between 2 and 4 sentences in a paragraph. Next, leave space between the paragraphs. Next, any supporting numerical analysis should be referred to in the body of your answer and expanded appropriately. Next, there will Always be 20 marks allocated to 5 professional skills that can be examined. Next, spend plenty of time practicing questions that require demonstration of each skill. Next, it requires students to develop integrated thinking and evidence-based approach, as the marker will circle the number of evidence. This is the point. Marker will circle evidence-based approach. Marker will circle the number of evidence, mean how you are supporting your answer. When you are developing your answer, how many evidence you are given. Okay, my dear, very important point, very important. And writing skills, practice makes perfect. All right, so sum up the skills you need to develop: time management, effective reading, analyzing the requirement, planning, answering, and writing. And writing only possible with your frequent writing. The more you write, now it's typing about, it's typing, sorry. Okay, so the more you type, the more you are familiar. So we will be working in the SBL, like the ACCA platform. ACCA platform, we will be working, practicing. Okay, so you will be becoming more familiar with that. All right, and how is the exam to be marked? Technical marks, we already explained. There will be 80 technical marks and 20 professional skills marks. This is we have explained already. Then there are 5 skills which you need to develop. Number 1, commercial acumen skill. Commercial acumen has 3 further components: insight, awareness, and judgment. Number 2 is skepticism. It has 3 components: probe, question, challenge. Number 3 is analysis skill. Investigate, inquire, consider. Number 4 is evaluation skill. Assess, estimate, appraise. Communication skill, number 5. Inform, persuade, clarify. You will need to learn about these skills. The more questions you will solve, the more practice you will do, the more you will learn about this. Okay, there is no magic to learn these skills, only evidence-based thinking and practice. My dear, this is general tips for professional skills marks. You will be able to get through. Almost most of the discussion we already have made about this, but still you will have time to get through. In the end, the above general principles should help markers judge in a holistic way how to reward candidates for showing professionalism in any given requirement. Anyway, simple things. Now let's talk about why students fail in SBL exam. Few points I have put it down. They don't follow a structured approach. Structured approach. What is structured approach? Here is a structured approach. This is called a structured approach. Can you see this structured approach, my dear? Main points, main headings, then subheadings. Can you see this one? This is called a structured approach. Okay, and I will train you. I will train you in developing this structured approach. Okay, no need to worry about that. Number 2, they don't answer what is required, rather they write what they know. Number 3, next. One may fail marginally between 45% and 49%. It is likely because of poor exam technique. And possibly lack of focus on demonstrating professional skills. one may score a very low mark, such as under 25, more likely due to of knowledge or failing to apply the knowledge in practical way. A common reason of failing SBL exam is time managing failure and completing the task, perhaps missing out whole task or part of task, not finishing the exam. And here is the past paper results. You can see the average is almost 50%. Even the latest March 22, if you look at, okay, there's a 50%, means it is very high percentage of passing as compared to if you look at the other professional level exam or the other exams, okay? This is a very high percentage. I mean, for out of every 100, 50% are going to pass. 50% will be passed or likely to pass. So you can be part of those 50% passing this exam. It is not difficult paper. This 50% percentage showing that passing SBL is not difficult. Okay, because 50% are passing it. Got it. Let's talk about how will I lead and add value. My role, my contribution. First of all, I will provide you knowledge book, a full syllabus coverage with clear understanding and learning of technical knowledge. Summary notes I will provide you. Practice kit I will provide you, comprehensive practice of the syllabus with more than 25 practice questions, work assignments, 2 midterm mocks, if you will follow all the everything. Okay. Share latest corporate world stories relevant to SBL to broaden your knowledge. Continuing support through WhatsApp group. Train you how to develop structured approach to pass exam. Train you how to read the case. Connect the dots, information given in the scenario. How to read and analyze the tasks. What is effective communication through writing? Improve your writing skills. How to structure and draft the answer. Avoid mistakes, time management skills. So these we will be working on during our course. And here is the reading list which you need to follow. SBL Professional Skills Marks Guide, importance of effective communication for SBL, examiner reports, other resources available on ACCA website. Then for a wider perspective where you will need to work on, okay, such as if you are using iPhone, then there are podcasts. This is a treasure. This is a rich resource of knowledge. I will recommend you few channels. If you are using iPhone, I will recommend you few channels. Then there is Bloomberg News, Guardian, Business, Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, Economist. These three are paid services, okay? Financial Times, Wall Street, Economist, these are paid. So you can just download the apps and go through the headlines rather than going in detail. You can go to the headline to get to know what is going on. Then McKinsey, a free and rich source of knowledge and learning about the latest developments with McKinsey reports, McKinsey podcasts, BCG, Strategy Lab, PwC Research Insights. These are free available resources. These are free resources available to get to know, to get yourself updated with the latest business thinking. And my dear, that's it. Let's begin the party now. We will be beginning the party in our next class from the first volume 1. Okay, so that's it from our today's comprehensive discussion of SBL. What is SBL about? Have you got the idea now about SBL? Have you got a broader idea, my dear, about SBL now? So what are your thinking now about SBL? What do you think? After listening to me for almost more than 2 hours and listening about SBL, what do you think SBL is about. It is not difficult, you would have already understood, but it requires you develop a mindset for this book. And this will be my role to develop that mindset, to prepare you, to help you to understand this book and prepare well. But you will be required to be present in the classes. Keep in mind from the very first day, there are students who think that they can skip the class and would be watching the video recordings. All the recordings will be available. But let me tell you honestly, recordings would never be the alternative to the actual class you will take. In actual class, you will have more learning. You will have enriched learning because you will be interacting one-to-one. But in recording, that will never be the same. So I will always recommend you to plan your study, I recommend you, okay, to plan before every session. If you want to get maximum out of SBL, okay, plan your study, which topics we are going to cover, which topics we have covered last time. Are you clear? Write questions and send me questions. Ask me questions in classes. You might already have noticed my approach to studies, that this is two-way. I believe in two-way communication. I am not the person who just keeps speaking. Have you understood my style? I ask questions. I always encourage my students to participate. I empower. I believe in two-way of learning. Okay, I empower my students to ask questions. Slides in advance. No, you will have the notes. Volume 1, I will provide you, and you will be able to get through everything from the volume 1 notes. Okay. Any question, my dear? Before I close, any question do you have? Anything you want to ask? Mr. Anas, Dia, Divya? Any question, my dear? Only it is planning that will help you to work in advance and question. But if you will not plan your lecture, you may miss it, and you would miss the opportunity to learn as well. All right. Okay, my dear, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you in this introductory session. I hope that you have got the subject better. You have got about my teaching style as well. Hope you have understood my teaching style, because I believe in engaging my students, okay, sharing the insights and empowering my students and encouraging them to ask questions and learn better. All right, thank you very much. Have a very beautiful evening. Enjoy, and looking forward to see you in the next class. All the best. Take care of you. Schedule your time, schedule your studies, and schedule your every minute of your life as well, because the most important and precious thing is your time and your life. See you next week. Bye.